we used for the squash and stretch. So I'm just going to do a little bit of that for this demonstration. So I'm going to press Command R to add my rulers. I'm going to put it about there. And for this, I'm just going to use a shape of a cube just to make it easier. That's about big enough. Okay. I'm going to press Command R to hide my rulers again. And I'll make this fit to the screen so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go to the 0, because that's where we want to start. And we're going to be working with position. So I'm going to click my stopwatch to start animating position. So now it's clicked. Okay. So I'm going to go about 10 frames. I can always type in here the time code area, 0. Sorry about that. 0.10. Now I'm 10 frames. I'm just going to move this to there. My anchor point's off, but I'm not going to bother fixing it. Now, last week in class, I went too far. I went, oh, this is going to go up, and I made about 14 frames. But that left a big lag in between. I'm going to recreate that error. I'm going to put the frame about here. And you're going to see there's going to be a bit of a stall, and I don't want that. I'm doing this on purpose. Just going to move that there. And then down. We're just moving across time and adding our keyframes. Okay. To change the path, you could always click and drag the handles. And like I said, because I didn't have my anchor point set up, that's why it's over here instead of over there. But you get the idea of how to change the path. So now we're going to work on the speed. So I'm going to select all my keyframes. I can click and drag outside like that, or I can just click on the word position right over here, like that, to select all my keyframes. I'm going to hover over a keyframe. You have to be over the keyframe, hover over it, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. As we discussed in class, this will give us a hand on each side. It's just faster to control the animation this way. So I'm going to look at the first one. I want to speed out of this because it's going down. So I'm going to move this yellow ball handle. I'm going to hold down Shift after I start dragging it. So now it's going to speed up sharper there. So it's coming out faster. I want it to come in faster too, so I'm going to spike that up like that so it's... There we go. That's coming in like that, and as you can see, there's this little bit of a lag. So I want it to go slower into the next frame because it's going up. So I'm grabbing this handle as we're going there. You can visually see what's going on. That's going slower up, and then I want it to go faster into the down. Like that, and I'm going to move this keyframe a little bit so it's not up in the air as much, like that. Oop, don't want to do that. I'm going to move this one as well because it's falling too slow for my liking. See, now it's falling faster. That's what we want. Okay, so I'm going to hide the graph editor by clicking the graph editor button, and now we're back to the timeline. So I'm going to go to where it's close to the ground to hit, right about there. You don't want it to be too far away. I'm going to press the letter S to get scale, or, as I said before, you can twirl down the arrow of any layer, go to transform and get any properties you want. So I'm going to add a keyframe. This is where it's still at 100%. I'm going to go forward one. I'm going to unclick the chain so it's no longer going to uniformly scale. Now, if you squash... Oops, that's side to side, sorry. So the second number, you can slide the numbers or you can type in. So I'm going to go up 123 and in 80. Because remember, when you stretch it up, it's got to come in on the sides. And then when it hits the ground, that's where it's hitting, it's going to be shorter and wider. Like I said before, this is changing its location because I did not set my anchor point up. But I'm just doing this to show you how the keyframes change with squash and stretch to remind you. And if you went through all this just like mine, I'm going to unclick this. I'm going to make a new square. This is what happened from the beginning. My anchor point was not where it should be. So I want my anchor point move tool right here next to the camera, right there. Pan behind anchor point. I click on my anchor point and you move it to the center. So now when you do your position, so just real fast, I'm going to go right here, hide the one below it, and I move it. Oops, still have my pan behind. I need the black arrow tool. So now when I move it, see, now the path is there, and also when I scale it, it's going to scale from the center, which will help me. Oops, that was uniform. I didn't want to do that. So we'll click that off. So we'll scale that down and spread it out. So that's how you do your squash and stretch. And this first keyframe I'm going to add here, make it 100 and 100 so it's square. So it's coming in and it squashes.